Because while there are still undeniably problem areas in and around this city and this country, the situation on the ground is far better than it has been since the chaos and insurgency began following the fall of Saddam Hussein. And that is largely because of the military, economic, and political offensive known as the Surge. I was in this very room when it was just getting started back in February of 2007, and coming back 9 months later, I can tell you that with my own eyes, I have seen profound improvement by every objective measure. And without getting ahead of the situation on the ground, it looks to me as if we are on the verge of victory in the Battle of Baghdad. And the man who engineered that awesome reversal of a situation that many, particularly in Congress, had written off as lost is Commanding General David Petraeus, who yesterday gave me this exclusive interview.
If you were a boss, you'd get a bonus. I mean, it has been a remarkable transformation. We were here at the beginning of the surge. Now, 8.5, 9 months later, the difference that we see is truly remarkable.
Well, Geraldo, the bonus goes to those hundreds of thousands of great U.S. troopers, coalition troopers, and Iraqi soldiers and police who have been putting it all on the line out there now for many, many months to get these improvements made in the security environment.
What was the key? I remember how contentious your testimony was before Congress. There was a great deal of skepticism about the surge. Too little, too late was the predominant criticism. What do you think was the tipping point? What happened? Why did it work? What did you see that they didn't?
Well, there have been a number of factors. Additional coalition forces, the additional Iraqi forces. Remember, there's an Iraqi surge that has been ongoing as well, and that will continue and can continue. It will not stop. The popular rejection of al-Qaeda that started really out in Anbar province, rippled up and down the Euphrates River Valley, and it was a catalyst. It gave other Iraqis an example of the fact that they could also reject this extremist form of Islam that is not Iraqi, and all the violence, the indiscriminate violence and murder and so forth that went along with it. And then neighborhoods buying into this, the support of the Iraqi government as it all moved forward. And gradually there was a degree of momentum, and the momentum itself begins to have a positive effect. And there's no one here talking about turning points or lights at the end of the tunnel. We're very realistic about the many challenges and obstacles and enemies that are still out there that must be dealt with.
Your commanders, though, suggest that they, if not have won, are winning the Battle of Baghdad.
There's no question but that there has been impressive and enormous progress made in Baghdad, Geraldo. By any measure, I think, by levels of attack, by civilian deaths, coalition Iraqi security force casualties, you name it, there has been improvement.
Clearly, you were right about the need for additional forces, and the surge is working. Why not just sustain the surge? Why announce a cutback in the surge? Why not just keep doing what's working?
Well, because first of all, the situation permits us to do that. Our ground force is under enormous strain, as you know, in the United States. Our budget's under pressure. So again, and by the way, don't forget that the Iraqis, even though they now feel that we have re-liberated them in a sense in many neighborhoods, many communities and provinces from al-Qaeda, Iraq, and are grateful for that, but over time they don't want to see American soldiers on their streets forever. And they want to take charge of their own security, especially again in these areas where they have been able to expel al-Qaeda and insurgents and extremists from their areas.
But General, as you sit there today, you don't think that the de-escalation is too hasty, that we're not trying to fulfill a political timetable rather than a military timetable?
I would not have recommended what I did back in September if we were not then projecting what we are now seeing, in fact.
I trust you, and your success speaks for itself. But if you have a neighborhood where you have 3 battalions in 3 adjacent neighborhoods, and it's going to go back to 1 battalion like it was before the surge, isn't it inevitable that violence will creep back until the Iraqis truly stand up?
Well, the idea, of course, is to make sure that you've got Iraqis that are helping you. You now have civilians that are helping you.
But did you ever think that you would be not only the commander of the military forces, but in essence, almost operating as the only true national leader in this country?
Well, again, let me just say that this is a team effort. We've talked about this before, that this is the new greatest generation of American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and civilians who are out here in huge numbers as well.
They have tremendous responsibility,
They
not
do.
only war fighting, but to see that the utilities get connected, to fund projects. They handle, fiscal responsibility. They mediate between the various, sects. They are the uniting, glue almost in many of these communities. And it's, I don't believe people truly understood that the Army was going to be performing that function as well.
Well, these are very, very tough tasks, and I think, again, our country should be very proud of the way our military services have changed during the course of this.